the quad is good as well. Obsidia, we haven't seen Obsidia for quite a while.
I don't think we've ever seen Obsidia yet in WEC.
Yeah, so just using the bone to catch Yisun Shin so that Yisun Shin doesn't escape. Is that the idea here, or just trying to force that 1v1 against Granger? But the lane is definitely Granger favorite.
It's definitely Granger favorite. The main struggle, I think, for Obsidia is just to get to the critical mass, right? You need to stack up your passive, the bone shards, and afterwards, your ultimate only becomes useful if you actually connect it, if you actually know how to put it onto a target. But it does give you some advantages. The enemy cannot use any mobility abilities. You can kind of maneuver around terrain easier. So I see the logic behind it, but it's going to take some effort to get to that point that you are a threat.
Yeah, it's a cool hero, but again, it's not a hero that you can just autopilot on. The moment you start to, just relax a little bit, it's going to be very difficult for you to run away, because something that we don't talk a lot about Obsidia as well is that it's not a dash. It's just a movement speed up in one direction, so you don't go through walls. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping in to the lower bracket semifinals. Malaysia going up against Cambodia.
I have a feeling that you probably want to use the ultimate on either the Granger or the Yisun Shin, just so that they lose the mobility and it's easier to pin them down. But at the end of the day, you are going to be that main damage dealer, that main output source in that late game. Jungle clear, both junglers starting at the purple buff, so we should get the inverse jungle unless Rina thinks about going for the early invade.
Yeah, it looks like they might just want to go for those Litho and maybe try to catch them in case they do want to overextend. But looks like Malaysia should get this for free, and looks like they're just trying to prevent any kind of attack in mid. Making sure that the mid lane is pretty safe, yeah.
Yeah. It has been quite a habit for more experienced teams to go for that early level 2 gank, but I think this is a very good example on how to stop that from happening, right? You don't let a wave freeze happen, or you clear that wave as fast as possible, but also making sure that you are tracking the enemy jungler. So Cambodia has did a fantastic job in preventing Rina from even threatening Elan in that opener, although Fao might need to call for some help as this lane, like you said, is going to favor the Granger a little bit.
Yeah, but honestly, looking at the rotations here, Husky, it looks like they're planning to just leave Fao on an island, because everywhere across the board, they're all trying to establish their own freeze of the minion wave. And it looks like, at least for Cambodia, the Grok is making sure that no freeze is really able to come true. And Rina might be the stabilizer for Team Malaysia, but looks like Team Malaysia has no problems dealing with the waves themselves. So both teams should be able to scale up at an even pace.
And I think this is a reality that Team Malaysia has accepted for the mid lane. You just don't clear as fast as a Grok and Zusin with the heroes that you have, which means that Cambodia get priority over Turtle.
Yep. In terms of the levels here, Sha is level 4, so the Throne of Ruin can potentially do something here, but the question is, what's going to be your target? If you're able to get Elan as well as Tagami at the same time, then that's going to be great, but it might be more difficult to get Tagami here.
Yeah. Again, Baobei continues to be pressured by Fao in that... Fao continues to be pressured by Baobei in that gold lane. The wall doesn't really reset the golem, so I think Cambodia didn't cause as much distraction as they would have liked. But I think if you are Cambodia, you are willing to dance this for as long as needed.
Yeah, especially look at this. Yisun Shin is getting the purple buff, so it is going to have that level advantage. Rina is level 4, but Tagami is already level 5.
Mountain Shocker used very early on too. The Throne of Ruin from Sha. Only connects on Tagami, but they go for the dive. Tagami gets taken out. Rina with the first blood. The lift back onto Yuki. Yuki gives her life out willingly, but the Raging Slash is there from Moshi. He now turns on to Sha. Baobei joins the fight. Sha tries to relocate, but gets dragged back, knocked, and just ragdoll around. Sha still alive. The healing, finally. She goes down. Baobei with the pickup.
Despite Malaysia losing 2 there, I really feel like that's actually pretty good coming in from Malaysia, because Sha, being an absolute nuisance, had an amazing engage, able to get Tagami first, but more importantly, look at Fao. Sha basically gave room for Fao to farm up, because, again, like, the pressure coming in from Baobei is really suffocating, but then Fao gets some farm in, but the problem is Baobei does get a kill. The good news is that I believe Baobei doesn't have that Sky Piercer yet, so at least there's no stacks on the Sky Piercer.
She does have the Hunter Strike, and has the innate range advantage over Fao too. So either way, this lane will continue to be a struggle for Fao, who does manage to get the gold crab. First turtle still on the board, as none of these teams are willing to commit fully for that secure. There is still flickers up for both Moshi, Alan, and Baobei. Nothing much was used on Cambodia's side in comparison to Team Malaysia, where Shah and Hani had to commit their flickers to get those takedowns.
Oh, looks like Fafao is trying to trade still. She does have the Wind Talker. I'm not so sure if that's enough to make your Hunt of Bone being able to kill someone else, but Fafao already took a lot of damage. Hunt of Bone actually gets the kill onto Baobei.
Baobei could not move at all, just locked in place and forced to 1v1. At the same time, they're going to also find Yui, the 3-man tectonic charge, but he doesn't really do enough. Hani will pick that one up. The Shah continues to front for the team. Moshi will only have to turn on her with the Land Shaker and just swing away Tagami with the secure. And now they try to continue the chase, but Yuki gets out of range. And this time it's Team Malaysia getting a bit of an advantage, and Fafao will extend that by taking down the bottom tier 1.
At this point, again, like I said, they want to give Fafao the space. They want her to stay on her own island, and everyone else is just being this distraction that Cambodia really can't ignore. Like, if you ignore it, they're going to get the turtle, and that's not good news. So you fight, but then when you fight, Fafao gets the space. This strategy will fail if Fafao loses the 1v1, which so far she has won.
I feel like it's the difference of one auto attacker is there was a spontaneous moment where he felt like Baobei was idle, not really sure what to do in that moment, and they better check the items of Fafao because she just got a Sky Piercer. So that is going to be a difference maker, the surprise factor if they're not paying attention. Yuki down low, Rina does get the turtle, so not a problem there for Team Malaysia as Baobei gets brought to the mid lane, but the occasion is already concluded. Hani should be able to get out of this with the CC immunity. Malaysia disengages.
Yeah, unfortunately, look at Alan as well as Yue already using their ults. The Tonic Charge is not there. Crimson Beacon as well, trying to engage a fight, but Malaysia just disengages. But again, it's not long cooldown, so they should have it up by the time a next fight comes through. It looks like Cambodia, they're trying to trade and getting the turret, which they are going to be successful. In terms of how the state of the game, it's actually quite even here in terms of gold, even in terms of the kill score. So Malaysia and Cambodia, they're moving at the same pace.
And Baobei was able to get the bottom tier 1. Got the glorious pathway. Moshi will just easily clear that wave out with her Raging Slash. Flickers forward, Land Shaker, backup coming in. Alan will join, forcing Fafao to flicker to safety. Get the lift back onto Yuki. And now Moshi will look to disengage Tectonic Charge. Only on the shot. That is pretty tanky. Turns around, control the ruin, and counter engage. Hani though will be forced back as Tagami tries to chase her down. Tagami sniped again. Fafao saves her teammate. Yuki does end up going down, but Malaysia, they're not done yet. Rina comes in with Phantom Execution. Fafao gets ran down by Baobei, and Cambodia wins that fight. Another Land Shaker into a lift back shot gets blocked by the wall, and a knockback, a triple kill for Baobei.
Yeah, this is not amazing for Malaysia here, giving overkills to Baobei with that Sky Piercer, and I think she got 2 stacks there, so 20 stacks compared to Fafao, which died. So even if she had 10 earlier, she only has 5 at this point. And even though, yeah, Obsidia is pretty good in that 1v1, but in the team fight, man, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to dance around that. That's kind of not how Obsidia is designed, at least when it comes to her skills.
She is a hunter. She doesn't like to be hunted. That's what her kit is for, right? She likes to run you down, but she struggles when people are running straight at her, and that's the challenge that Fafao faced. I think it's only 10 stacks for Baobei. She got the Sky Piercer after the 3rd kill, but still, right? It's still a net positive for Cambodia, 1.1k goal lead. Now finally, the turtle being worked on, 2nd of the game. Malaysia thinking about contesting this, but they do not have crucial battle spells to get those surprise engages.
Yeah, but still, we're seeing the stacks of the Obsidia actually doing quite strong. 1 hit there and about 20% HP was taken by Cambodia. So Malaysia, we can see the engage coming in from Shah is going to be pretty good. The problem is the follow-up is not there just yet. Hani on this Kagura doesn't have the necessary damage, and Rina hasn't been able to follow up as well.
Yuki has to be very careful of the threshold. Hani can't really get onto Baobei. They drop the carpet shot on top of Baobei. Had to turn around as they lost Fafao. The tunnel vision from Malaysia didn't really working out. They lost track of where Cambodia is. They do assassinate Baobei, but Rina has to do everything all on her own, and it's just too much the burden to bear. Team Malaysia forced back again, losing 3.
Yeah, but that is pretty bad here because Fafao had an amazing start, but now is suffering just a little bit. Rina was, again, like you said, able to do some cleanup a bit and able to kill Baobei, which is amazing because you gotta reset a bit those stacks because you cannot allow a Granger to have 40 to 60 stacks for free. So I feel like that was honestly worth it, being able to take down Baobei.
We did say that Rina was a standout performer in the earlier series. Seems like she now will have to take on that mantle again to bring that team, to keep that team afloat. And by all accounts, I think Team Malaysia, they're not really falling too far behind. It's just a 1.2k differential, considering the chain of events that has happened so far. But there are definitely some cause for concern that Rina isn't enough as an individual to carry them across the finishing line. They need Fao too.
Looking at itemization here, Fafa already finished up the Haas Claw as well, so gonna be able to stain just a little bit alongside with all those crits. But looking at the Granger, a lot of penetration, and Shah got caught.
Forced to use the Throne of Ruin, connects onto tree, but they need to follow up as soon as possible. So Rina will try to join the fight. Can reach Mlbb though as Shah goes down. And this fight is already going south for Team Malaysia. Yuki dragged back again and instantly slain alongside Hani, and Mlbb tracks her down. Another 3 bodies drop for Team Malaysia, and Cambodia turns onto the Lord. Can Rina be the difference maker? She's looking for a target, but doesn't land the abilities. She escapes, but the objective is lost.
Yeah, well, you gotta be careful. Moshi does have the bravest fighter, probably thinking of going after Fafao, but looks like not gonna overextend. Cambodia, this Jushin is becoming such a problem, especially for Yuki. Yuki can't even position herself well. She can't be a frontline because every single time she was the one getting peeled off and then taking free damage coming in from Cambodia. So right now this Jushin pick is making it so that Malaysia never has a 5v5. It's honestly just a 4v5. One will always get picked off.
And it's a pick that we sort of had a feeling is going to come true when we saw that Grok. And even, I think right now, it's slightly shocking to me that Malaysia didn't really consider that to be an option, because it now has officially become their kryptonite. And I think the sad part is there's not really a solution to it, right? That the Zusin Grok will always be a problem, a hurdle in front of their front line. Yuki will drop the carpet, but only to deter Cambodia's siege. But it's okay, they still get the top and mid-tier 2.
Yeah, Rina is trying to get as much farm as she can. But look at that, the Tonic Charge goes in. Shah tries to protect herself, but the damage coming in from Tagami is a little bit too much.
Drag back.
And Aeon gets that killing spree, but goes in. Hani tries to go for the yin-yang overturn, but gets killed off by Moshi. Malaysia trying hard to defend, but giving over 2 kills.
I guess the silver lining is that you defend the inhibitors, you pop the holy defense at the bottom lane. Not that it matters too much. Some farm funnel into Rina's pockets. Again, when the world needs her the most, this is probably the time. She still has continuously shown those moments of brilliance. But Yuki is pretty much gone. Again, we talked about this permanent brick wall in front of this Hylos, and there's no way for him to go through.
Yeah, only 4 stacks, not 44 stacks in Fafao's name when it comes to the Sky Piercer. So the Sky Piercer isn't really paying dividends here. And we honestly need to look at the items from Yuki as well, because she's not able to take any damage, man. Like, get hit for a few times and you're dead, and that's not what you want to be at when you're using Hylos.
Does she not have puncture? She's got a Thorn Rose. Should have the puncture reset. That's true. 1, 2, 3. Too many things to navigate. That's a death box there. Mega Q for Alan.
Yep.
They did get the top tier 2. That's consolation for Team Malaysia. Next lore up in less than 30.
As annoying as Mlbb is hitting her shots, this Grok always being in your face, this Jushin is controlling everything, man. Like, the team fights, even picking off a Lancelot. That's when you know the Jushin is having an amazing game. When you can pick up a Lancelot and get a kill.
Yeah, they're about to find Fao again. Here comes the Conceal. Very early flicker, and Fao will say her blessings. Lord is going to spawn. Cambodia have set up the bottom wave too. Not really a slow push. I think Mlbb just hard shoved away, but no matter. They will be on the Lord first.
Yep. Either way, Malaysia, I kind of feel like if Rina and Hani can connect their AoE damage skills, they should be good. But Tectonic Charge goes in, finds 2, flickers out, but Aelan's on chase, gets an unstoppable, and Moshi gets a make a kill onto Shah. Yuki has nowhere to run, gets taken down by Mlbb, and now Rina gets chased after by Moshi. And Rina, as the Lancelot, can't do anything. Cambodia is going to get this Lord for free.
I think Team Malaysia have already conceded the objective. Again, you did say that they need to connect their key abilities, but the window to make that happen is so small. And sadly, Team Cambodia are the ones that cause the shot. Every time that Earthen Rampart comes out from Yui, it is go time. 19-5, second Lord in the possession, almost an 8k net worth advantage, and that's going to keep on going.
Looking at the items here, looks like Fafao does have the 4th item here, which is going to be the Berserker's Fury. So, good news, bad news. Good news, she has damage. Bad news, she doesn't have sustain here, Husky. So, and given the fact that her range is much shorter, and in the range of the Jushin, it's going to be pretty problematic. And in terms of defensive items coming in from Yuki, I'm not seeing any anti-regen from anyone except for Honey. So, this Lapu Lapu should be able to survive for a very long time, because I don't think anyone is going to stop the healing there.
Funnily enough, the Tusin is one of the heroes that you don't really want to out as an Obsidian, because you just get trapped with her. You drop the Glorious Pathway again. Yuki trying to deter Cambodia from seeding their structures to delay the inevitable, because they do have a Lord that they need to take care of. So the mid and bottom wave guys cleared out. You desync the push, but with how low that health on the inhibitor is, it will eventually go down to the charge. And Cambodia, they have a very good chance to take all 3 inhibitors.
Yep. Now Mig gets taken down. It looks like Hani got found out by Tagami. Tagami chases, gets a killing spree. Shah is in the back with Bao Bei, taking a lot of damage. But look at Rina. Rina tries to get a kill, but the Wind of Nature by Bao Bei. Bao Bei still survives, gets chased again by Rina, but Bao Bei with a sliver of HP able to escape. Right now, Elan gets shut down by Shah. Right now, Malaysia is able to defend, and Shah is still on the chase.
Heroics from Rina again to save the entire game, and they latch onto Moshi. You're not going anywhere, lady. Ends up flickering to safety either way. Fafao doesn't have the Sky Piercer threshold, but they are going to go on the chase. And back up is there. The Thorn Rose from Rina would get the job done. Malaysia hold the fort at the cost of a barren base.
That was an amazing defense coming in from Malaysia, able to get the key targets. Bao Bei still able to survive, but the fact that Bao Bei was low enough, making it so that she cannot participate, dealing the damage, made it so that Cambodia, they basically couldn't sustain long enough going up against Malaysia.
But they will have the advantage of all 3 inhibitors being down on Malaysia's side. They always have the minion advantage, always has the looming threat of a backdoor or just a minions ending the game moment. So that's something that Team Malaysia will have to keep in the back of their minds for the rest of the game. It's not going to get any easier from her. I think Team Cambodia tried to throw their bodies to end the game, and they got punished once. I don't think they will make the same mistake again.
Speaking of which, we got to talk about punish here. Fafao does not have the flicker, and I believe she doesn't have the Wind of Nature as well. So the moment she gets caught, that's probably it. You're going to get a kill onto the main damage dealer here. Rina has been doing quite well, but we can't say the same about Honey. I kind of feel like when Honey gets an amazing yin-yang overturn, maybe that's when Malaysia can really turn things around. But before that, this game is Cambodia, man. Cambodia, this is their game to lose. They have everything that they need to potentially end the game in another 5 to 6 minutes.
Not only that, this is also one of the disadvantages when you're technically running 2 assassins, right? Kagura is categorized as an assassin. You use your cooldowns. If it doesn't result in any return, you essentially become sort of ineffective. You will with the Conceal, is going to try and get info. Can Rina do it again? She's not even in range to contest for this. They will try still, but Tagami good with the Retribution. Mosi swings away. The Tectonic Charge ends up missing, and now Fafao finally joins the fight, but Rina needs to disengage for now. She doesn't have health, and then now all falls on Fafao, because Yuki cannot hold the fort. Fafao goes wide with the ultimate. They trap the and Bao Bei with the double kill. Cambodia looking to march down top for the win.
That was bad because Fafao was just about to get the flicker, but now Hani and Rina, they got to try to defend as Moshi goes in, misses, and Rina tries to make the hero play, gets a kill onto UF, but look at that. Rina is going to get shut down by Bao Bei, and now Cambodia is going to be ending the game. Game 1 goes to Cambodia.
There's only so much a person can do, and even with Rina's best effort, that game has already spiraled out of their control. Cambodia put up a very strong front. We did say from the drafting phase onwards that this Grab Tusin is going to be a challenge for Team Malaysia to deal with. But